Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learn from you. So congratulations.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrive Time, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement, how to help you guys implement the SEO. And the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrive Time it's just been amazing for MultiClean. Oh my goodness, it frees me up because then I don't have to take a class on search engine optimization or learn marketing or shoot video. That's not what we do. What we do is commercial janitorial service. And you guys are the experts on marketing, and you teach me and hold my hand and show me how to do it right. And therefore, now my company is much, much larger.
Folks, on today's show, we're joined by a real client. He may look like a male model. He may look like a hologram, but he's a real person. He's a longtime client. He's a man that we consider to be a friend of the Thrive Time Show and a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kevin. Welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Clay, I'm doing great. Had a great Christmas holiday, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first question, can you tell us what is your name, first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas.
And how long have we worked with you approximately at this point, sir?
It's been about 6-7 years.
Every morning at 3 a.m. Cause that's when I start my grind in. And I got no time for stumbling and chit chat talk with the vacant friends. I'm on my grind, yeah. I'm on my grind. You need a job, I'm on my grind.
And we want to welcome all of His Glory Nation from east to west to north to south. Welcome to today's Kingdom Business Builder with America's Coach, Clay Clark. Clay.
Hello, Dave. How are you, sir?
I'm good, my friend.
Hey, on today's show, I want to talk about this idea of not despising small beginnings, not despising small beginnings. And I want to share with you a story. There's a longtime listener to our podcast named Logan Duvall. And Logan popped onto my radar the other day because he was doing an interview with Mel Gibson. And he was interviewing Mel Gibson about various health-related issues. And I thought, you know what? I've got to get Logan on our show to have him share his testimonial or his story, because Dave, when I started with Logan and helping him, he definitely was starting with small beginnings. So let me pull up his a case study real quick so all the listeners out there can see it, because if you're watching today and you feel kind of stuck, you might be the next success story. So here we go. This is Logan Duvall, and he has a grocery store in Arkansas. Well, I want to pull up your site because I want to get into the nitty gritty because there's somebody out there who's equally passionate that doesn't know some of these things. Your website, it's optimized now. Now, so therefore people can find you. Has it made an impact on the business? Are you hearing, do people find you now online? Are you seeing more people finding you online than previously? Because I want to get your thoughts. Like, there's somebody out there that has a great product, maybe even a similar product or similar niche, but they're in a different state. Are you getting more people finding you online these days than maybe before you and I first connected?
The Google's thing is still a big deal, right? Because somebody's going to say fresh eggs near me or pasture raised eggs or grass.
Now, Dave, I'm going to show it to you real quick here. Look at this. Dave, this is the home office. Do you see what I'm Googling here, Dave? Yep. I'm going here. I'm Googling. I'm putting in the address for the business. Let me do it right now, folks. Everybody put the address in. 10409 US 70 North Little Rock, Arkansas. Dave, I'm putting it into Google. Your listeners are putting it into Google. We're clicking on maps. We're looking at the aerial, the satellite view. Dave, I'm zooming in. At what is now the highest rated grocery store in Arkansas. This is a guy who has a massively successful company now. We're zooming in here. Dave, it appears to be a house. Dave, he started a grocery store out of his house. Look at his parking lot. Look at his home. There it is. Me and McGee Market. There it is. Someone says, what is this thing? It's a business. You say, what kind of business? It's Me and McGee Market. There it is. Me and McGee Market right there in Arkansas. His business is doing very well now. Back to the success story here, folks. But again, do not despise small beginnings.
For whatever it is that they're looking for. And what that does is inevitably pulls us up on the Google business profile. And so best farmers market in Arkansas, something like that. And we absolutely have a lot of traffic through there. And then they typically start following us on social media and cultivate a relationship. And it's very relationship based for me within the mission. I think that when we go to get groceries, it's such a hectic, frantic thing, right? We're just going in there. It's not a great experience. It's something that is just a necessity and we have to do. When people come out here, there's flowers, there's animals, there's pigs and there's some cows, there's chickens, there's a cat walking around. Like, it is an experience to where you're having fresh air and sunshine and life, right? Well, see people smiling. It's such a different type of experience than going to get groceries. And I think that's what people love and why they just keep coming back. I don't think that you can fully understand that until you do it, right? And so focus is such a big deal, and it is so easy to get caught up in either the minutia or what you think is important, and just to have that reset of somebody that's been through it, worked with other people in your type of situation. And I mean, retail's retail, but everything's a little bit different, but the foundation and having that focus and just to have an assessment, to have some sort of a spreadsheet that you're
Dave, he's watching the show. He's watching this show years ago. He's watching me on a broadcast. He reaches out. Look at him now. He's got 140,000 subscribers on YouTube. His business is booming, and he started that business, Dave, right out of his house. And there's somebody out there, Dave, maybe you can articulate it better than I am, but you got to get excited about that. And you cannot despise the small beginnings, Dave.
That is so exactly true. You got to put your head and walk 2 feet at a time. It's important. Take action. Take massive action today. There's more of these success stories waiting to be.
Absolutely. Now, Dave, I got a stack of stuff. I'm going to get into it. We're going to break down 4 principles that everyone can apply today. I'll pull up these notes here, but I want everybody out there, if you're watching today's show, don't feel discouraged. Don't get frustrated. You just have to follow the simple plan. It's a step-by-step process. So step number 1, if you're watching today's show, you have to find a problem. Mm-hmm. Dave, you got to find a problem. I think a lot of us, we know of problems. In this case, Logan says, there's not really a way for the local people that live in this part of Arkansas to have access to fresh produce, fresh meat, fresh eggs. So if you wanted to eat a clean diet, if you're watching the show right now and you want to eat a clean diet, Logan's saying, hey, as a consumer, there's not really a way to do that. That was the problem. Step number 2 is you have to make a solution. And he said the solution will be me. There it is. If it's going to be, it has to be up to me, right? If it's going to be, it has to be up to me. Someone says, huh? You find a problem, and Logan says, you know what? Why can't I be the guy who opens up the grocery store that does very well regionally? Why can't I do it? And he did an assessment of the things he had. He said, well, I have a house I live at. I'll start there. And that's what he did. Yep. And you say, well, where did he get the product? He called all the local farmers and he said, hey, local farmers, are you looking for a way to sell your products in kind of a farmer's market, but maybe a way that's almost at the effectiveness or at the level of a grocery store? But you know, and I know you don't make the money you deserve when you're selling to a grocery store. So what if you could sell to me and I'll give you a much better financial result? I'll pay you more than you could get from the grocery store. What do you think about that, Mr. Farmer? And these local farmers are saying, sure, I'll go ahead and give you some fresh eggs and some meat and some vegetables and some fruits to sell. And then if that goes well, I'll give you more. But Dave, he had to find a problem, step number one. Step two, he had to solve that problem. And I think there's somebody out there, Dave, that you're looking at your financial situation and you're saying, how can I get unstuck financially? And I want to encourage everybody, Dave, everybody out there. This guy started a grocery store out of his home. And I couldn't be more excited to share these stories because they're practical. And Dave, you've been to our in-person workshops. You've met these people directly. You've met people like Logan. What do you say, Dave, to somebody out there that goes, I just don't know that I have the tools and the resources needed to turn my business into a reality? What do you say?
I would say take massive action. But I go back to your number one that's the key. Find a problem. And he found a problem with fresh produce, and he attacked it. Every single market has that same problem, by the way.
And this is something he can scale out. You just said this. Every single market has the same problem. So if you're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, guess what? We need something just like this. If you're not in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you say, I'm in Dallas, Texas. Guess what? They need something like this. So I'm going to pull up my notes so people can follow along here at home. But I want everyone to know, big idea number one, do not despise small beginnings. Do not despise the small beginnings. But step number one, Jim Rohn says, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
Yeah.
Think about it. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So let's do an example. Okay, so if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, and we're going to go thrivetimeshow.com. That's the website here, thrivetimeshow.com. We're going to click on testimonials. Dave, we've got thousands of testimonials there of real people just like Logan who reached out and said, you know what? I'm going to turn my idea into reality. And Dave, so my mind immediately goes to Beloved Cheesecakes. I think about that business. You met Jen. You've talked to her multiple times. She's been on your broadcast. She said at the conference she's selling something like 10 times more cheesecakes than she used to sell. And what happened? Well, she came to the Oregon Reawaken event, Dave, and she came up to me and she said, hey, I know we're not doing a business conference here, but I need help with my business. I'm recently divorced, and I need help. I don't have a lot of money, and I don't know how to do it. That was in Oregon. So that was maybe, 4 years ago, Dave? You were there speaking. Yep. Julie Green was there. That was the first time we had Julie speak. And she said, I know this isn't really the venue for it. I know this is a Reawaken, but I have a business and I'm a single mom and I need to be able to provide for my kids. So she scheduled a free consultation at thrivetimeshow.com. Now she has grown this business. She's got 2 thriving locations. Online sales are happening next level. And I just encourage everybody out there, participate in this conversation. You have what it takes to be successful as an entrepreneur. So my call to action number 1 today, Dave, is go to thrivetimeshow.com and click on the testimonials button and watch those testimonials. There's thousands of them. And just watch them and say, you know what? If they can do it, how come I can't do it? If they can do it, how come I can't do it? There are thousands of video testimonials you can all watch by going to thrivetimeshow.com and clicking on testimonials. And if you want to come to one of our in-person business workshops, just go to thrivetimeshow.com, request a ticket, and use promo code HISGLORY, Dave, for a chance to win a backstage pass, and you get a discount off those tickets.
Perfect. Take action today. There's all kinds of problems to be solved in every market. Just find it and implement it. We'll be right back.
Parasites are real. I can prove parasites are real. I know they're out in the world today. Now we have known parasitic diseases like MS. That's why I recommend Purge Advanced Parasite Cleanse.
Purge. Crafted with an all-natural blend of 19 powerful ingredients, designed to target and eliminate every type of parasite inside the human body, from hidden invaders causing fatigue to those impacting your overall well-being. Join thousands of users who've already transformed their health, experiencing incredible energy and a renewed sense of well-being.
But what if I told you that cancer, acne rosacea, multiple sclerosis, and rheumatoid arthritis, 4 different diseases in 4 different areas of medicine, what if they can all be treated with parasite medication?
Get yours now at www.purgestore.com/hisglory or scan the QR code on your screen and get 15% off with the code HISGLORY.
Your money is vanishing faster than ever before, and no one is coming to save it. But you can protect your savings starting right now, completely tax and penalty free. Goldco has helped protect billions in retirement savings with real gold and silver. At His Glory, we trust them, and today we want to send you a free gold and silver protection kit. Act now and you'll receive up to 10% in free silver. And if you have $25,000 or more in an IRA savings, Goldco will also send you a free Ronald Reagan silver coin. Supplies are limited. Scan the QR code or click the link to get your free kit today. Goldco will protect what God has entrusted to you. Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend. After years of research, Dr. Marty has decided to release an information video showcasing exactly which foods you should stop feeding your dog, which you can find out right now by going to hisglorypet.com. You won't believe how simple it is. His Glory is hiring in Mount Pleasant here in Texas for multiple positions, including producers. So head over to hisglory.me/careers to learn more and apply. Producers, an operations manager here in Mount Pleasant. You can see all the job postings. We are really growing out our Texas studio. So you want to help us get to 1 billion souls. We're looking for the dynamic team. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It is an adventure. We are all called for one thing, to reach 1 billion souls, and we need to be united for such a time as this. Billion Soul donation. Become a Billion Soul partner by giving $30 or more monthly and support our mission to reach 1 billion souls for Christ. And a thank you, you'll get receive a copy of my book, All for His Glory, and also enter to a chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime trip to either the Footprints of Paul, which is our trip to Greece next year, or our trip back to Israel. So we're going to be having 2 big trips next year, taking a group back to Israel, and the first time ever, the Apostle Paul footprints in Greece. It's going to be a magnificent trip. All right, we're back with Clay Clark. We say America's coach, but actually you're not just America. You're going to Canada and other countries as well.
It is true. We do have a handful of clients in Canada. So we would say America and Canada's business coach. Now I'm going to pull this. I want to go back to the story because, Dave, I don't know that I'm hyping it up enough. I don't know that I'm really getting into it enough here, folks. Listen to this. This guy, Logan, Dave, once somebody recognizes, you know what? I can achieve success. You know what he did? He just did an interview with Mel Gibson. There he is, doing an interview with Mel Gibson. Why is he interviewing Mel Gibson? Well, because he has the confidence and the mindset of, hey, if I can turn my home into a grocery store. And by the way, when people show up at the grocery store, you know what he does at Me and McGee Market? What he does, it's meandmcgeemarket.com. You know what he does? Dave, they greet you with a smile. They shake your hand. They say, hey, how can I help you today? And you're like, I'm looking for eggs. Okay, we've got fresh eggs over here. We've got the meat over here. We got fresh vegetables. What else are you looking for? They offer great customer service. They greet you with a smile, which never goes out of style, by the way. That's right. They check you out when you go. There's a human that checks you out. They bag your groceries. They take care of you. They offer that 1950s, 1960s level of customer service. They wow you. It's like an In-N-Out Burger, Chick-fil-A level of customer service. And customers are willing to pay for fresh produce. And he's thinking to himself, wow, I'm scaling this business. Why not interview Mel Gibson? And he did. Also in Arkansas, this is the man who worked nonstop, relentlessly to make it legal to drink raw milk. Now, someone says, raw milk? Well, there's a lot of people out there that are raw milk enthusiasts, and they want to drink raw milk. They believe there are certain health benefits to it. And he worked tirelessly with his local government to make it so that in the state of Arkansas, you can now drink raw milk. One guy is providing fresh food for I don't even know how many people now. One guy is making it legal to drink raw milk in Arkansas, and one guy is interviewing Mel Gibson about natural solutions to fight cancer. It's unbelievable. So you say, small beginnings. Okay, so step number 1, do not despise small beginnings, find a problem. Step number two, folks, what we want to do, step number 2, very important that we do this, okay, is we have to start where we're at. We have to find solutions. So step number 2, we have to find solutions. A notable quotable from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn says, start from wherever you are and with whatever you've got. Let me try it again. Start with where you are and with whatever you've got. You got to find those solutions. Dave, I see so many entrepreneurs out there trying to raise money, trying to bring in billions, trying to bring in millions, trying to raise money before they start. I'm suggesting if you're watching this right now, you should start with what you have.
Yeah.
I mean, he basically converted a home and a deck, a pergola area into a grocery store. And is it fancy? No. Is the food quality great? Yeah. Are people surprisingly amazed by the quality of the food? Yes. People say, I've never had organic beef like this before. Wow, it's so much better. Yep. I've never had organic fresh eggs. Wow, these are, and the customers will ask, how come all the eggs aren't the same color? And he'll say, well, what do you mean? They'll go, well, some of your eggs are like a kind of a brownish or a tannish color, different colors. Why are the eggs different colors? And he says, well, that's natural eggs. And what you've been having is eggs that come out of a factory. And we don't even want to talk about how they make them all perfectly white. These are, are you familiar with how our chickens are raised versus the typical ones in the store? And they go, no. I said, well, a typical chicken in a store, the store-bought eggs, the chicken lives its entire life. There's 5 chickens in a cage, and they live their entire life on a cage. A conveyor belt comes and brings them food and takes away their eggs. And they're pumped full of hormones all day. These chickens are grown. They're like mutant chickens that are grown during a fraction of the time. They're so big and pumped with steroids, the chickens can't walk. And that's going into your body. Where our chickens, these are free range chickens. These are fresh eggs, and people are going, wow, I didn't know that. So I'm just telling you, but he's got that confidence. Step 1, he found a problem. Step 2, he found a solution. Step number 3 is you got to sell the solution. And I want to applaud Logan. He never had a problem with that part. A lot of entrepreneurs have a problem with that part. Logan never had a problem. Logan said, hey, I offer the best quality meat, best quality eggs, best quality milk. I don't have a problem charging for it. But there's somebody out there watching today's show. You are having a problem with selling a solution. So I want to give you a notable quotable from Jim Rohn. Again, you say, who's Jim Rohn? Jim Rohn is the best-selling author who's largely responsible for Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins credits him as being the inspiration. One could say he kind of took where Napoleon Hill left off when Napoleon Hill, the best-selling author, died. Jim Rohn took that mantle or that energy or that drive and continued that quest to teach people how to become successful. You've read his books. I've read his books. Jim Rohn says, every great journey begins with a single step. And it's the small steps along the way that build the path to success. So I want to brag on another client today. This is a true story here. If you I'm going to go to rumble.com and I'm going to do a search for Jake Gibson. Everybody go do a search for Jake Gibson. And Pastor Brian Gibson, I think he's been on your show multiple times there, Dave. So he's Jake Gibson. So his uncle is Pastor Brian Gibson. Jake reaches out and says, hey, I've got a roofing company and we're not really growing and I want to grow it. Dave, he's increased the number of leads that he gets by 11 times and he did it in 12 weeks. He reached out to us. Well, let me repeat that again, folks. He went to thrivetimeshow.com. He scheduled a free consultation, Dave. He said, I know your business coaching program. You charge $1,700 a month. I know you guys do photography, video, web, search engine, all that. He said, but really, you've worked with my uncle, with his church, Pastor Brian Gibson's church, and he says, I would love it if you could help me. This is a true story. Dave, he calls me on Saturday, and we have kind of an emergency call. Let me tell you the emergency. He's making so much money in fact, 10 times more, that he needed to find legal and ethical approved write-offs that he could buy between now and the end of the year. And I go, what now? He said, well, Clay, we are absolutely doing great. We're landing multi-million-dollar commercial roofing deals. We're landing so many residential deals. We're doing 10 times more sales than we used to do. So as we head into the year, I met with my accountant, and I now have an issue. And the issue is that we have so much profit coming in that we either need to pay copious amounts of taxes or we need to deploy that capital to grow our company. So I wanted to do an emergency call with you, a quick call with you on this Saturday. I want to hop on a call with you to find out what you perceive to be the best use of my finances, because my accountant has told me what I can write off, the categories and the things. Now I want to know as my coach what I should be spending my money on so that I can grow my business. Dave, what a great problem that is to get to the end of the year and say, hey, I've got 7 days to deploy $1 million.
Yeah, that's a great problem to have. And also that's another reason why people should go with you as their coach, because you have a solution for him. I'm going to tell you what the solution is, but I know you have a solution for his problem.
And I think what happens is there's a lot of charlatans, Dave, that talk about getting rich quick in 5 minutes or 10 minutes and all that kind of stuff. So I want to counter that by always citing our sources. This is roofangel.com. We went over that. I showed it to you. You got his testimony. You can look him up and hear it yourself. There's meandmcgeemarket.com. I just showed you the interview with Mel Gibson there. So I'm trying to make sure we get this idea. Jake said, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm willing to do what is required. I am inspired. I am caffeinated. I'm motivated, maybe even agitated, Dave. Who knows? But he's like, I need help. And I said, no problem. We have a scholarship to help out people in need. We charge $1,700 a month for clients that can afford it. And I've been doing it for 20 years, Dave. So step number 4 is your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. Come on now, folks. You know that's good. That's Jim Rohn right there. Your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. And so, Dave, Jake Gibson, he knew if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm probably going to get that same result. And we all know that. We've all heard that. But he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call my uncle. So boop, 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 boop. He calls his uncle, Brian Gibson. Hey, who's that coach guy you work with? Brian said, oh, my buddy Clay. He's worked with our church for almost a decade. You should call him. He says, what does he charge? Well, it's $1,700 a month, flat rate, or you have scholarships. Why don't you just give him a call, do a free consultation? And so with great enthusiasm, with great energy, a sense of urgency, he went to thrivetimeshow.com. And he requested a ticket. We called him. We booked a conversation with him. He bought a ticket to the conference. We booked a 13-point assessment. He wanted to come to the workshop himself and to meet real clients to verify that there are real clients having real success beyond just his uncle. And that's great. He met the clients. He talked to them. He shook their hands. He asked them questions. Dave, he came to these workshops. You might have seen him walking around at the workshop at the conference. And now he says, I'm ready to go. And in 12 weeks, folks, think about it, in 12 weeks, he increased the number of leads he was getting by 11 times. He went from barely making it to doing great. How? We had to update his website, update his branding, update his marketing, update his accounting, update his bookkeeping, update his hiring. We had to update his staff. We had to teach him how to hire people, how to run social media ads, how to fulfill call scripting, all those systems. And now he's got himself a good problem. And the good problem is he needs to write off stuff before the end of the year. So I would just tell everybody out there, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Dave, you've seen it. You've at this point, you've probably met hundreds of clients that we've coached into multi-million-dollar companies. What do you say to somebody out there, Dave, that's maybe a little bit skeptical of going to thrivetimeshow.com and scheduling a free consultation?
I'd say if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, take action today. Out of the hundreds of people I've met at these conferences, not a single, not even one person has even hesitated with their success. Everyone has had success to some level. That's amazing.
I would just encourage, and again, Jake, I'm going to talk about him a lot because he's having massive success and it keeps getting better. But I encourage you folks, call to action. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. That's the website, thrivetimeshow.com. Use promo code HISGLORY for a chance to win a backstage pass, discounts off tickets. And again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. Don't delay. Go there today.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000%. from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But I recognized at the age of 15, I'm going, you know what? I am not going to live that way. And so I started a company out of my parents' basement called djconnection.com. And I decided I am going to have success. And so I reached out to millionaires and people that I kind of knew through church and friendships and people that parents of my friends. And I said, what book would you recommend that I read? I'm a 15-year-old asking this question. True story. And I kept being told, you got to read.
Hello, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. It's an exciting time. Also, I think a treacherous time, a spooky time also. But it's always, danger is a good time. Today, my guest is Clay Clark, and I went out with Tom Wheelwright to visit Clay with Eric Trump also. And the reason I want to talk to Clay this morning is a very important subject called study. And the reason I say that is things are changing so fast, and many people are completely missing the show. Things are changing at rapid speed. Technology is changing. And so I went to Tulsa, again, with Tom Wheelwright and Eric Trump. And the thing I was so impressed about Clay is this word called study. I don't know, you guys must be in your water or something, Clay, but boy, I was so impressed how big you guys are. But what really impressed me was you have this huge congregation. They're all about guys your age. They're on fire. And you start your classes at 5 in the morning. Now, let me talk to you about study here. We show our books here. Now, this is how I study. This is The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's on the Fed. And Clay's doing the same thing. We study. So I go out to Clay's place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's built this huge compound out there. And you guys start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not by Zoom. They drive there. They show up 5 o'clock, bright-haired, bushy-tailed and all this. And they're on fire. Your group is on fire. So that's what was on Clay, this technology. You tell your group, I was so impressed. Because, like I said, studies became a bad word. I got into fights in my own company because our staff didn't want to study anymore. And I don't know how they cannot do that. So, Clay, anyway, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show. That's what I want to talk to you about, is how do you do it? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have hundreds of people showing up in your huge auditorium on your property to study. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clay, and what turns you on so much? That's what I want to know. Give us a little about your background.
My name is Karime Schofield, and the name of our company is Whistle While You Clean.
I am Sophia Schofield.
We live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we service the tri-state, so Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana.
We were getting a phone call, and we were like, why is someone calling our business line? That's unusual, and we picked it up, and it was a lead.
I mean, it's been incredible, Clay. We've gone from 0 to 100% growth. We're a full functioning company. It's great. We're blown away at how well we're doing. So working with you guys have really taught us a lot about generating leads and pursuing our Dream 100. So we have a list of customers that we want to market to. And so we've been making phone calls. We've been showing up in person. We're trying to get near the businesses that they would visit if they were visiting a hair salon or something. And then we start calling them and we just start pursuing them. And then the other thing that we do is when we do cleans, we take a lot of video testimonials and we post those to our website so other customers can see. And then we also upload a lot of images of the things that we do. And so We're also asking our clients for Google reviews after we've cleaned their houses. And so it's this constant like cycle of doing those things over and over and over again. I would say if you're on the fence, go to one of Clay's conferences. They are hilarious. They're fun. They're educational. They're so good that even my teenagers like them. And I would say don't let fear hold you back. If you want to start a business, do the obvious thing and hire someone who knows how to run businesses. If I wanted to get in shape, I'd hire a gym person, a personal trainer. This is like the personal training for business. It has been absolutely amazing. I mean, our coach is encouraging. When he first met with us, he said, do we want him to be like a drill sergeant with us? What level of intensity do we want him to give us? And I will say he is incredibly, incredibly encouraging all the time. And he just hits the same mark with us every single time. It's very repetitive, but I think we both really learn a lot every time we sit down and have a conversation with him over the phone. He keeps pushing us to go further, and he can recognize when we're afraid to do something, and he'll give us a little bit of grace, but that next week he's drilling us again, like pushing us to go harder. Our no-brainer offer is we are offering your first clean for $1. And that sounds absolutely insane. It even sounded insane when I was talking over it with our business coach. And I will tell you that that has generated some of our hugest clients. I mean, that has been like a game changer because it opened up the door to more clients, more recommendations, more leads. And we were surprised how far that dollar clean got us.
How important has it been for you to work out that scripting, even though you offer $1 for the first clean? How important has it been for you to nail that down?
It's been really important because it kind of it hones in so that you're not just all over the place when you're trying to explain what it is that you do. And a lot of times it's like you're a good person offering a good product and you have integrity and you want to communicate that. But when you go to communicate without a script or without practice, it's just like a mess coming out of your mouth, as opposed to having this, honed in practice where you know what you're going to say, you know how you're going to say it, and you can almost expect better results when you do it that way.
Had you ever been an entrepreneur before starting this particular business?
No, never.
Did you ever think about wanting to own your own business someday? Or what was the first time you thought, maybe I would like to open my own business?
Absolutely. I've probably been dreaming about it for about 10 years.
Okay, and let me go to your daughter here. Had you ever thought about wanting to team up and open your own business? Or was that something that you were maybe excited about or not so much?
Well, for me, my parents would always listen to your podcast and business podcast. And as I started listening to them, I started realizing that I wanted to own a business.
It's www.whistlewhileyouclean.com. Honestly, the hardest thing was getting over the fear. It was the fear of the unknown. There was like a cloud of doubt that, you can't do this, you're going to fail. There was a few sleepless nights there when we did pull the trigger and join your team and start the coaching process. Even my husband put a little bit of pressure on me from time to time because it was just absolutely scary to take that jump and actually start a business.
Whoa.